Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Bella with Bella Gitana Tarot. Hope you guys are doing well. I had a wonderful birthday the other day. Today I wanted to do a check-in with the masculine just to see where he's at in his energy and just to see what else comes out. And then towards the end, I'm going to use the Astro Dice. So we'll use the Astro Dice to see what else comes through. And I'm just staging the space right now to clear the air. All right. So because we're getting a full moon this weekend, guys, I just really wanted to check, what's going on. Because it's a blue moon. And so, yeah, just wanted to see what is in store for the masculine. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's see what is going on with the divine masculine's energy, spirit. Bring it forward, please. We have shaman, trust in higher forces. So I feel like spirit is saying here that the masculine's in a state of surrender. He could be consulting a shaman, but just really trying to be wise because we have the owl there. And look at this, we have star ancestor at the bottom. Follow the voice of your soul. So yeah, I feel like he's letting go and trusting in spirit and following his own intuition. He could be looking at the stars as well. All right, so let's see what else comes through. Okay, yeah, so he's definitely in a contemplative state. This reminds me of the Hermit's energy. And so I get here that this is what he's doing. He's really contemplating where he's at, where he's been. And a lot of times with the full moon, it is going to bring up a lot of things into the surface that he's going to really have to contemplate. Why is he feeling this way? He could be feeling your energy as well. Look at this, bottom of the deck, we have family. So this could be related to him figuring out what is important to him, what is important for him family-wise. It could be the way he grew up as well. Also, he could be contemplating on how he would like to see his life in the future, establish a family life. So he's definitely contemplating all of this because right now I feel like he's very blocked right now. He feels blocked, not able to receive this information and process it. And so he could be closed off. And look at this, at the bottom of the day, we have deception. So I'm getting here that he's definitely aware that being deceitful and lying to other people or himself is going to keep him from being able to open doors, right? Very interesting. What else, spirit? Admired. So, and I love that it has these butterflies here because this tells me that he wants to be admired. He wants to be able to transform out of this stagnant energy so that he can be able to be proud of what he's taken advantage of, like whatever opportunity that presents itself. He wants to be able to say, yes, I walked through that door and I have no regrets and no looking back. But the fact that he's contemplating, he's aware that he's blocked himself from these opportunities and he knows that he needs to transform, that something has to change. Look at this. Purge. He is very aware that he needs to purge, the bad that's been sitting there at the bottom of the barrel, so to speak. And so, a lot of this has to do with emotions because we have the water here. So he's definitely aware that there's some emotions that he has stuffed down deep down in his psyche or in his heart. And so he knows that he needs to bring this forward. So let's pull some messages here, what he didn't say, just to kind of build more on this spread here. Okay, says here, the void between us is closing. I feel you closer than ever before. And on the lock, it says there, I love you. So his heart has pretty much been on lockdown, right? Because this lock is just locked, right? And we see that barrier here. So he could have very well have blocked himself from feeling this love that he feels for you. And he knows that he created a void between you guys. And so I feel like right here he's saying that he knows that that space between you guys is now starting to close. So you guys are coming together closer. And that could be why he's in that contemplation state, because he feels that you're getting closer to him. Like you guys are like magnets. Okay, look at this. Bottom of the deck, it says, I am following faith. I am trusting the divine to bring us back together when the time is right. So that totally confirms what he's saying right here. Trust in higher forces, you know, trust in the higher realms, that this is going to come back together. Why is barrier here, Spirit? I need you to hold the light. Your healing energy is required at this time. Please send me your love. I need it more than ever. I love that this came underneath barrier, because you are that person that can help him open up that door for him. You know, hold the light for him, give him hope that he can overcome whatever's blocking him. You know, he needs to purge. And so he's asking you to send him your good vibes, you know, send him your love, because he needs it in order to be able to walk through that door, because right now that door is locked, right? It's not opened. At the bottom here, it says, I choose you. Please stay in faith and trust. I am working my way back to you. So I get here that he's letting you know that he already chose you, but at the same time, he has to tie up loose ends in order to be able to come forward through that door. But as you can see, I just noticed this door is right between this guy and this girl. Okay. Wow. The synchronicities. So he's facing her and this is you, right? You guys are facing each other, but there's a door here that's not able to be opened yet. And he's trusting that spirit is going to open that door, but he needs you to hold the light. You see how you have that light emanating around you? He needs you to hold that light so that he can find his way through the clouds, because there's a bunch of clouds here. Wow. This is very powerful, you guys. And then right here it says, I remain single and continue to hold the space in my heart for you. I love this, because I get here, even if he may be around people or dating a karmic partner or what have you, in his heart, he's holding a space for you. He could be a musician. He could have a beard. But you know, he still admires you. That's right underneath the admired card. So I get here too that he admires that you're holding a space for him. And so he's reciprocating that same feeling back to you. Look at this. Future. Significant and necessary changes are happening in our lives. This is bringing us closer to union. Okay. It's no accident that we have the butterflies here and the owl here. So this is signifying that you guys are learning your lessons. You're able to trust and spirit to handle everything and transforming through the obstacles and challenges, so that by you guys holding the light for each other and holding space, you're going to be able to break through this barrier and come together. That gap is going to start closing. I mean, this is the second time we've seen, you know, the word closer to union, and then I feel you closer than ever before. And so these are significant changes that have to happen. And this is happening in your life for you guys. Okay. Love it. All right. So let's pull some tarot to kind of get more insight on this spread here. All right, Spirit. So why is contemplation here? Okay. We have the wheel, so definitely get here that he's aware that this is a karmic cycle that he's going through. This is fate, this is destiny, this is good luck. So interesting that this card here says the void between us is closing, and this snake is right between you guys, right? But it's closing because he's got that sword of truth. Like, I know the truth and I'm going to cut right through the temptation and finally come closer to you. I kind of get here, this is like a hot and cold energy because we have the blue and the orange. But the blue reminds me also of communication. So he knows that he's going to bring you this truth, this communication, and you might be tempted to pay attention to what's not happening, what you can't see, but you're not aware that he's on top of that wheel. So they can't see each other. So the wheel is turning. He's going to slay that snake, that deception energy, because we did see that deception card earlier. And he's going to finally bring you the truth, and you guys can finally complete this cycle. And he was saying the void between us is closing. Okay. Wow, look at this. Death. Okay, so something is ending. And when you have an ending, it leads to a rebirth, right? So you see the sun there in the background. So this is going to be a period where you guys are going to be able to purge, like we saw earlier. And that way you can finally end this old cycle and come back together. And we are in Scorpio season right now, and the death card represents Scorpio. So that is very interesting, okay? And then we have the Emperor when it comes to barrier. I need you to hold the light, okay? So, you know, especially with the barrier card being here, I just sense that the masculine was very stubborn, right? Like very authoritative. You know, he could also have issues with his father like the father in his life, he could have also been listening to male roles, male people in his life. So either way, I just kind of get here that the blockage that he's going through is coming from something that has affected him in relation to his father. Okay, take it how it resonates, but it's not going to resonate for everybody, guys. But this is just what I'm getting here. This is stemming from his childhood. This is about wanting to become a father too, you know? So he might feel like a blockage, not feeling good enough to be a father because he doesn't feel good within himself. And yeah, that's just what I'm getting here. Look at the 7 of Wands at the bottom. So he's definitely feeling challenged and not sure that he can, you know, overcome this obstacle course, right? So he's just feeling a little bit out of his depth here. Why is admired here, Spirit? The Page of Cups. Okay. So that's something that he's definitely wanting to communicate with you, that he's still holding this place in his heart for you. This is also about learning. So maybe he's just finally learning that he needs to finally take time to himself and be single and not be with anybody. So that way he's able to be centered in his own energy. Look at this. And we have the 4 of Swords. Yeah, this is about healing. Something ended and now he's resting up. Interesting that the swords are like pointing up. So I get here that he could be defending himself, right? In case anybody tries to sneak up on him. So yeah, I get here that he's definitely learning about his emotions, how he feels, and this is helping him realize that he admires you. He sees that you're very open with your emotions and he's wanting to transform and be that way too. Okay, why is future here, Spirit? The 2 of Swords. So this is about making a decision, being at a crossroads. You can see there's like some kind of epiphany happening for the cat, right? So he's going to be at a crossroads soon, and through these changes he's going to realize that this is what he needs to do to finally make a decision to move forward and be able to become one with you, to have this future connection back together. Look at this 9 of Wands. He's contemplating on going into the woods, right? So he knows that he has a journey to go on, and when he gets to a crossroads during that journey, he's going to choose you. I mean, he already said it here on the card. I chose you. Oh, one of them. Forgot where it was. This card came out earlier. I choose you. Please stay in faith and trust. I am working my way back to you. Okay. And 9 of Wands is about going on a journey, right? Going through the woods. And that's why he's saying, please hold on to the light so that he can find his way out of the woods. Amazing. All right. So let's do one more spread here about his shadows. See what else needs to come forward. Okay, we have zombie control. This is a hand coming out of the graveyard. So this is like the death card like we saw earlier. So I'm definitely sensing here that he has a hard time letting go of control. And this is something that he needs to purge, right? Yeah, look at this. The apple, risk and reward. He's very tempted to try to always be in control. And that's where he gets stuck, right? But this is something that he's going to finally cycle out. Okay. Okay, we have upheaval, shock, unexpected trouble. So this is like a tower moment that, yeah, look at this. Emotional whirlwind, affected, dramatic, unstable. So I'm getting here that the more he tries to be in control, the more things fall apart, because I feel like Spirit is trying to humble him and let him know that he's not in control. And this is bringing up a lot of things to the surface for him. Let's pull one of these and see. Healing. Someone needs to heal all wounds. Okay, so like I was saying earlier, I feel like this ties back to his father's energy, or you know, a male figure in his life. He needs to heal that, because I get here that in the past he could have felt like this person had all the control, and now that he's grown up, he feels like he needs to be in control so that he's not a victim, just like his father was making him a victim, right? He feels really affected by this. Look at this meditation. The answer lies within. So that's very true. So he needs to dig deep to find out, why is it that he needs to feel like he has to be in control? Okay, very interesting. All right, let's pull one more. Loyalty, dedication, trust, reliability. So I'm getting here that he feels like he needs to be in control so that he can feel like he can trust people or how things are playing out, you know, like a routine, just kind of being able to rely on that. But then it becomes a crutch, because when things don't go as planned, that's when you're in trouble. That's when you're in shock, right? Because we're not God. We can't control when things, you know, we can only control how we respond. We can't control how things play out. And so he needs to let go of this control and heal that. Okay. And at the bottom of the deck, we have limit, final straw, overload, breaking point. This reminds me of the purge card that we just saw. And this is related to his emotions. So he needs to be able to let go of control, because otherwise it's going to all come to the surface. He's going to be triggered again. That's what I'm getting here. Okay. All right. So let's pull a tarot card and see what does this got to do with, just to get more clarification. Why is shock here, Spirit, with upheaval? The Emperor. Wow. Did I not... This is the second time we've seen the Emperor, the Iron Fist, okay? So I feel like this is why he's strongly wanting to be in control, because at some point he felt like he grew up in a household where there was no wiggle room. You know, it was their way or the highway, right? Like he just felt like he had no control in his upbringing. And look at this, Nine of Sorrow, which is Nine of Cups, access denied. So this could be where he had some emotions that were pushed away, because I feel like it was his father letting him know, like, don't show emotions, you know, denying him access to his own emotions. That's what his father, I feel like, was teaching him. Wow. Or it could have been his mother, but the Emperor is like a father. And then we have the Hangman, sacrificial lamb, underneath healing. So I'm getting here that he definitely needs to heal that and let go of this scarecrow energy, because I feel like he might see healing as something scary, right? Like a scarecrow that just keeps you away from the abundance, right? From the field. So I'm definitely getting that here. Look at this. Now we have the Hierophant, the false prophet. So I definitely get here that he needs to heal this control energy, because this could have been something that he, that it affected the way that he sees marriage, the way that he sees a union between two people. It's something that happened in his upbringing. It could have been his parents. Maybe he saw them fighting a lot, or maybe they got divorced, but he doesn't believe in marriage as a result of this, right? So he figures, I will just sacrifice not getting married, because he's still needing to heal that old wound. So if he's to heal that old wound, then he can finally look at marriage differently, that it doesn't have to be a scary thing. Okay, very interesting. What else, Spirit? Then we have Hermit. I love that came out, because the first spread came out with that contemplative card, right? Quarantine lockdown. So when it comes to being loyal and dedicating and trusting and relying on somebody, he shuts down. Okay, so your masculine is somebody that likes to be in control by not relying on people. It's like he wants to. It's like he's like this dog. He wants to jump out and have fun and go out and play, but he's still holding back. Like, I can't trust it, you know? Wow. Look at this. Siren of Rage. This is the Queen of Wands, scorned. I feel like he's scared that if he allows himself to let go and trust and dedicate himself to a connection like yours, feminine, that he's going to end up being scorned, or something's going to go wrong. Okay, this is why the apple is here. He does not want to take a bite out of the apple, because he sees it as temptation, like it's not for him, that it's a risk and a reward, but there's blood coming out of that hand, right? So there's going to be some bloodshed. Like, he's going to be scorned, hung out to dry, like the freaking hangman here. Just unexpected, the unexpected. So he's afraid of the unexpected, right? So therefore he does not want to put himself out there and end up being the sacrificial lamb, because he's afraid that if he trusts somebody, that he's going to end up being affected in some way, kind of like, you know, a virus. This person's like protecting themselves from a virus, something toxic. So they're protecting themselves because they don't want to be contaminated, right? Because then it will lead to an ending. They're afraid that they're going to be out of control and be a victim, like in the past with their family's upbringing, and then they don't have a way to turn around and recover, right? So this is something that he needs to purge. This is something that the masculine needs to let go of, that he needs to let spirit, you know, move the moving parts in the background and stop trying to be in control, and stop trying to be, you know, this iron fist, like it's my way, and not listening to other people. That's just what I'm getting here, for sure. Queen of Wands, scorned. He doesn't want anybody to be upset with him, is what I'm getting here. Siren of Rage. Like, he's just afraid that if he goes down this route, that the person that he's seeing, you know, it could be you, feminine, right? That you're going to scorn him and lash out at him, and then he's going to be like, I knew I should have just kept my guard up, you know, because now I'm not in control anymore. Wow. Okay. So let's just get some last messages here. Okay, we have soul contract, basically. This is justice. So look at this. Bottom of the deck, we have victory in reverse. So right now I get here that the masculine doesn't feel like he can have victory in this contract with you, feminine. Let's just pull some tarot and see what else to clarify that? Okay, this is the Ace of Swords, Ace of Needles. So this is about stitching up, you know, what unraveled to try to fix it. So I'm getting here that he doesn't feel confident that you guys can have victory right now because things are still needing to be fixed, you know, stitched up, right? And then this is the Nine of Wands, the Nine of Candles. So this is something that he needs to go on a journey to process before he can stitch things back up and fix it with you, okay? And look at this. This is the Two of Wands, okay? So another confirmation here of a snake. We saw the snake earlier with the wheel, and now here we have it in this deck. So I'm getting here that he wants to be able to be aware and prepared of what to expect when he makes a decision. So he's wanting to plan things out in the soul contract with you. Okay, we have the Seven of Wands here, which is right before the Eight of Wands. So this is something that's in the background that's still in the works. This reminds me of somebody that could be burning the midnight oil kind of thing. So he could still be waiting for the right time before he finally comes forward and speaks to you about that truth that he wants to bring to you. Look at this. And we have the Knight of Wands here, Knight of Candles. So he's like a wolf, a wild child right now, focused on his own passions right now. And, you know, the Knight of Candles is very flighty. He's not very reliable. He still needs to take baby steps to learn. This is the Page of Wands. The bat is usually about transformation, and, you know, interesting that we saw that deck earlier that said, please hold the light, you know. So he needs you to hold the light for him so he can learn on how to stop running away and finally go through this healing and purging that he needs to do to look at things differently. Okay, very interesting. All right, Spirit, so what are some last messages to kind of wrap up the reading here? Sorry guys if this is crooked. Okay, we have stargazing. Interesting because we saw the star ancestor earlier. So it says here, when you gaze at the stars, you give yourself fairy focus. Your intuition will flow more freely and reveal what you need to know about your situation. Okay, interesting because we saw that card earlier that was talking about meditation going within. And that's exactly what the masculine is doing right now. He's trying to focus on digging deep within his soul to get those answers. And it starts with healing the inner child. The fairies of playfulness remind you to make time to embrace your inner child. Playing keeps us young at heart. Do something silly and fun, but stay safe. And I love this because, you know, the other day, on my birthday actually, I heard my inner child say, "Oh, let's dance." And I was like, okay. So I gave in, you know, I just started dancing in my living room, had a dance party, no big deal, right? But it was fun and I felt energized. I used to love to dance when I was a kid. I mean, not like I was a pro or anything, but that's just what I loved to do, you know? And so I get here that Spirit is saying, still make sure that you are not just healing the inner child, but give in to whenever your inner child is beckoning for you to bust a move, you know what I mean? Okay, so let's see what Spirit messages wants to give you for an animal, spirit animal. So we have Seahorse Spirit, watch and wait. I love that because, you know, we saw the shaman earlier. We're saying trust, right? Trust that Spirit is going to take care of everything. Don't do any hasty moves just yet. And the seahorse is usually a very loyal animal, you know, and this adds up to an 8. So 8 is about a cycle, infinity symbol. Okay, and look at this bottom of the deck. We have Antelope Spirit. Life is speeding up. Okay, so even if life is throwing different lemons at you, right, make sure that you're watching and waiting and not acting. Just because things are happening doesn't mean that you need to act. Sometimes the best thing to do is just wait for that information to come. Okay, now let's see what else Spirit wants you to know. Trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? Okay, that's basically what is your intuition telling you, because sometimes when you feel something inside of you, like your intuition talking to you, you know, like your voice inside your head, not your crazy, not like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, sometimes you just hear yourself talking to yourself, and that's your higher self telling you. What is your niggle in your voice? Like, what is that little voice in your head telling you? Because that's your intuition trying to speak to you. Okay, bottom of the deck we have Soul Family. Call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. And this is very true, you guys, because sometimes we get stuck on our journey that we don't realize that Spirit puts people in our lives to get us. When you're stuck in a hard, between a when you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, Spirit is going to put people in your life, your soul tribe, that's going to help you move along and not get stuck. So call in your tribe, okay? So let's do some dice here and see before I almost forget. Okay, so we have Cancer, we have the 11th house, and this is the South Node, okay? So the South Node is really about where you've been, what you have accomplished in your past. And Cancer, oh my gosh, it's funny how this is at the very bottom. Thank you, Spirit. So we have Cancer here. It says the doula, feeling, sympathetic, comforting, nostalgic, protective, intuitive. Okay, so that's you listening to your soul. Caring, moody, receptive, lunar, sentimental, introverted, defensive, family oriented. So I'm definitely getting here that, you know, you might be dealing with a Cancer. Maybe your masculine has Cancer in his chart. Maybe you do, feminine, but I'm getting here that your person's finally, during this blue moon, they're going to really tap into their intuition, how they feel. We did see the purge card earlier and the breaking point, the limit. And so your person's going to really tap into their feelings here. Their gut reactions, any comfort or discomfort, right? Related to family. Okay, we did see that with the father card that I just kept seeing. Let me look up 11th house here. I don't know these by heart, so that's why I pulled these out. Okay, so the 11th house has to do with the edge, friendship, group creativity, community, humanity, hope, tribe, festivals, discoveries, common goals, startups, rebellion, experimentation, the future. Interesting, because we saw the contemplative card, right? Your masculine thinking about the future, family, right? We did see the family card as well, and really trying to hold on to hope that he can overcome regardless of where he's been, because we're dealing with the South Node here. You might want to look up your own placements with the South Node or your masculines as well, to see what sign it's on. And so that's basically your history, where you come from. And so we saw that with the family card earlier. I mentioned about the father. I feel like he has some trauma with his father, or it could have been his mother, but his upbringing really affected him in the way that he views relationships overall. And he's going to come into some type of discovery. And 11 is usually about awakening. So this is going to help him to finally experiment, right? And look at things from a different perspective. We have a telescope here, and I just noticed this is like a guy and a girl. Look like they're about to kiss or something, and then like a butterfly, and then astronaut. So some things are happening that we can't see, right? It could be like way out there in outer space and in a different realm, but there's going to be some transformation here. And the edge, I mean, we're at the edge of it right now. So still have hope, right? Don't give up. Be aware that your masculine is working through some things that are very rooted in his emotions, that are very deep in his subconscious. And that's going to start coming up with this full moon. It's interesting that that moon looks like a full moon right there in that deck. So I hope that was helpful, guys. Comment below if this resonated. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, definitely do so. I'll list information down below. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!